Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. And as you see behind me, today we're going to discuss the first co-defendant in Georgia versus Trump et al. To cop a plea, to negotiate with the state of Georgia for an agreement of terms and conditions and stipulations that they can live with in order to waive all of their rights and be mandated to testify against their co-defendants. So anyway, this is a multi-part series. This is episode three. Episode three of the series. And episode 4 will be on Michael Cheesebro, I believe. And the next episode after that will be, of course, Sydney Catherine Powell, the latest to become Benedict Arnold. Benedictina. Yeah. Sad day. Anyway, let me get in here. Let me go over here to where I need to go. So while I'm doing that, why don't you like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, leave a comment below. If you need to reach me, as always, I am the Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com. The fearlessfloydshow.com is my website. And you can always reach me at the Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com is my email. And I am the Fearless Floyd Show across every social media platform you can think of. So now that I have everything lined up, I actually don't want to go there first. Let's go see who Mr. Hall is. This one only got 1,000 of them open right now. Here we go. All right. This is from New York Post by Associated Press, published September 29th. I addressed this in the last video, number 2, episode 2. Covered a little bit of this, but Scott Graham Hall, bail bondsman charged alongside Trump in Georgia, becomes the first defendant to take a plea deal. So you see this was published September 29th, last month. All right, here we go. Atlanta. A bail bondsman charged alongside former President Donald Trump and 17 others has become the first defendant in Georgia in the Georgia election interference case to accept a plea deal with prosecutors. Scott Hall pleaded guilty in court on Friday to 5 counts of conspiracy to commit intentional interference with performance of election duties, all misdemeanors. Prosecutors had accused him of participating in a breach of election equipment in rural Coffee County, Georgia. He will receive 5 years of probation and agreed to testify for the proceedings as part of the deal. Hall is one of the lower-level players in the indictment filed last month, alleging a wide-ranging scheme to overturn Democrat Joe Biden's presidential victory and keep the Republican Trump in power. But the plea deal, nonetheless, is a major development in the case and marks a win for Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis as she pursues a historic racketeering case against a former president. Earlier, as you can see, this is a little biased journalism. Earlier today, a judge rejected a request by former Justice Department officials Jeffrey Clark to move the Georgia election subversion charges against him from state court to federal court. Mark Meadows and another co-defendant. There were 3 of them that tried to do that, and they were all denied by the same judge, I believe. I may be incorrect on that. Could have been multiple judges, but all 3 were denied for sure. U.S. District Judge Steve Jones said he was making no ruling on the merits of the charges against Clark, but he concluded that the federal court has no jurisdiction over the case. He said the outcome of the case will be for a Fulton County judge and the trier of fact to ultimately decide. Isn't that a federal election we were talking about? Not a state election we were talking about? I pretty much thought so. So Steve Jones, I'm calling you out, bro. And listen, in my own experience, having dealt with multiple magistrate and district judges all over the state of Texas, in all federal jurisdictions, whether it's the Southern District in Houston, the Southern District in Galveston, the Western District, Eastern District, and the Northern District. Yeah, much of the same. I'm just going to leave it at that. Jones had earlier rejected a similar request from Trump White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. He is weighing the same question from 3 Georgia Republicans who falsely certified that then President Donald Trump won in 2020. The practical efforts of moving to federal court would have been a jury pool that includes a broader area and is potentially more conservative than Fulton County alone, and a trial that would not be photographed or televised, as cameras are not allowed inside federal courtrooms. But it would not have opened the door for Trump, if he's reelected in 2024, or another president to issue pardons, because any conviction would still happen under state law. There's Fannie Willis. The indictment says Clark wrote a letter after the election that said the Justice Department had identified significant concerns that may have impacted the outcome of the election in multiple states, including the state of Georgia, and asked top department officials to sign it and send it to Georgia Governor Brian Kemp and state legislative leaders. Clark knew at the time that the statement was false, the indictment alleges. Clark's attorneys had argued that the actions described in the indictment related directly to his work as a federal official at the Department of Justice. Clark at the time, Tucker put out a new video. Clark at the time was the Assistant Attorney General overseeing the Environment and Natural Resources Division and was the Acting Assistant Attorney General over the Civil Division. But the judge said Clark provided no evidence to show that he was acting within the scope of his role in the Justice Department when he wrote a letter in December 2020 claiming the DOJ was investigating voter irregularities. To the contrary, the evidence before the court indicates the opposite. Clark's role in the Civil Division did not include any role in the investigation or oversight of state elections, Jones wrote. However, any official, when they become aware of a crime, has a duty to report it. Doesn't matter what position you're in, what title, what elected position you have, appointed position, it is a law. It's pretty much blanket uniform across the country. You become aware of a crime, you have a duty to report it. Absolutely. So what you see here is hypocrisy at its penultimate peak. Exactly. This is a political. This is your sniper, your political sniper, who is actually trying to politically assassinate the 45th president of the United States of America. And anybody who stands with him, she's trying to assassinate politically, socially, and civilly. Absolutely. Pray to God she doesn't decide she wants to go after property as well. But anyway, so that is the bail bondsman, Mr. Hall, who, obviously thought he was doing the right thing, supporting his president, and he got caught up. Now, let's go look at the record because, of course, that's all that matters is the record, and I keep harping on that. So if I say it enough, it'll sink in, and eventually it'll just pop out of your mouth when you hear it. Oh, the only thing that matters is the record. That's all that matters, really, truthfully. Let's see. Okay, over here. And is this him? Yeah. I've got 13,000 tabs open, so forgive me. All right, here we go. again, I'm a member of Tyler Technologies. Move that so you see I'm signed in. Welcome, Floyd Pleasant. This is the Fulton County Magistrate, State, and Superior Court record search. Boom, there's the case number, State of Georgia versus Scott Graham Hall, which should be et al., and it's not. But same case number, same judge. Case is closed because he was the first to cop out. And here's his information, attorneys, charge. Here's your charges, all your felony charges. We've gone through these over and over. I'm not going to keep repeating the same stuff. I'm still here. There you go. You've seen it live. All right. So these are the actual. So any of you just jumping into my videos and didn't watch the first two or three, nolle proseque is Latin for no longer wanting to prosecute, basically. No more prosecution. They have pretty much just abandoned it because they have a guilty plea on virtually the same charges, only on the misdemeanor level and not the felony level, as you see here. All right. So this was a motion that the state filed, and we'll get down to it here in a minute. But, if you want to look at the indictment, there it is. And we can go through all these and open them up. But for the sake of your time, and here's the last one. There's the motion. There's the order. Okay. And I'm going to get down here, and these are all the documents. This is just a list where you can just pop them right up in the order that they were filed consecutively. So here's the order. Here's the motion. Maybe. There we go. And there's of course, your electronic file stamp and the motion to nolle proseque. And Scott Graham Hall is charged with various felony charges based on negotiations with the state. Defendant has agreed to enter a guilty plea on 5 counts of conspiracy to commit intentional interference with performance of election duties. The state respectfully requests the order of nolle proseque as to this defendant, Scott Graham Hall, above mentioned cases. And there's the prosecutor. She signed it. Of course, your certificate of service. And then there's the order. Oh, let me stop. Go over here and share so you guys can see it for real for what I'm doing. There's the order. And these are blankets. They're going to look all identical as I go through every one of these as each one of the co-defendants for Donald John Trump tops a plea agreement with the state of Georgia. You will see the same thing. Order. They say the same thing. These are boilerplate templates. All they do is just change the date. There's another judge in there. They'll, put in the visiting judge or whatever. Same case. Okay, there's your et al. They'll change this for the next defendant. Next. And you're seeing the criminal justice system gears turning right before your eyes. You're part of it. So there you go, Scott Graham Hall. First one to cop out to a plea agreement. Of course, what you don't see in that, share. What you don't see in this, right here, you do, and I just discovered this, and maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's not, maybe it's a thing. I don't know. But they have not put the terms and conditions, stipulations, if you will, of the plea agreement between the state and the defendant. Okay. The only person I found that was for Cheesebro, which will be the next video after this one. And I managed to download it from this database. All right, so I'm going to show you something. I'm going to go back. Again. Oh, it's telling me to sign in. Sign in. Yow. Now it's going to ask me to do a search. And pops right up. Don't even have to put anything in. And here we go. So let's see if he has returned Cheese Bro. That's what we're looking for. And here's the next set of defendants. See, he's still missing. So I think they pulled him because that was the only case where they did post the actual terms and conditions, which I do have, and I'll show you in the next video. Now, whether those terms and conditions apply equally to Hall, Scott Graham Hall, and Sydney Catherine Powell, I cannot tell you, because looking in their records, here, I'll show you. Here's Hall. Okay, so we just looked at his. We know that's not there. Here's Powell. I've looked at Powell, so I was there earlier today. That was actually the first video that I did. And here we are at the very bottom. See, here's the order. Oh, here's another order. Let's see what that is. That's new. Could be a repeat. Second order on motion to interview grand jurors. This is compliant to the court's order entered September. Defense counsel submitted consolidated list of proposed grand juror questions. The list was not accompanied by further argument or legal authority. The state responded in opposition with an alternative list of 4 questions. Having reviewed the record, applicable law, and arguments of counsel, the court finds that the only following questions proposed by the defendants are permissible lines of inquiry supported by Georgia precedent. Do you have the opportunity to read the indictment? If you choose to do so, did you have the opportunity to ask questions of witnesses? Did you have the opportunity to ask questions of the prosecutor? These questions relate to the independence of the grand jury proceedings, surveying each juror's ability to conduct their own assessment of the evidence and not simply act as puppets of the prosecutor. See, juror testimony admissible regarding whether any outside influence was improperly brought to bear upon any juror. Inflaming the minds of the jurors. Yeah, that would be titled. The remaining request, which included questions regarding the identity of specific prosecutors' investigations, the length and method of the state's presentation of evidence, and each juror's understanding of the indictment. This is 14 frickin' pages. This is an order. And I don't know what it is. I'm not going to buy it. It's 50 cents a page. But it addresses Cheeseboro and Powell's questions previously submitted, which, kind of becomes a moot point when you're addressing 2 people who have already copped the plea. So basically a moot point on that issue. So that's new. So I had to go look at that right there. That's the order. So here's the motion from the state for nolo proseque. And here's the order signed by the judge. Whoops, sorry. Submit that. And so we did Sydney Powell, Cheeseboro, who's not on here. Again, go to the second page. Yep, he's not on here. And then Hall. And of course, we just looked at Hall. I'll look at Hall one more last time. Maybe they've entered something into the record. Nothing at all at the bottom. Yeah, return mail. I've already looked at that. That's nothing. Has nothing to do with anything per se. The 2 pages. Just a calendar notice. That's all that is. So there you go. Scott Graham Hall, the first to get scared, put his tail between his legs, and cop out to a plea. Just can't tell you how disappointed I am. But it is what it is. Next video coming up, we will address Kenneth Cheesebro, second defendant, cop a plea with the state of Georgia, and to testify in the future, along with Hall and Powell, against the 45th president of the United States, and allegedly still the commander-in-chief, Donald John Trump, et al., and co-defendants. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below, or you can email me at thefearlessfloydshow@yahoo.com. I'm on almost every social media platform, mainly on Telegram, as The Fearless Floyd Show. My website, thefearlessfloydshow.com. Thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. Just please be aware, my channels, all of them, are definitely shadow banned. I can't tell you by who, but they're definitely being shadow banned. I have it definitely in real time in my Telegram where everybody can see it, obviously. So I know they're doing the same thing here with this platform. So stay tuned. Check my channel periodically on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey. Those automatically upload for new videos. If you do not get a notification after subscribing, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you learned something. If you find value in this video, in my content, what I'm trying to express to you guys, please hit that like button so others that have similar interests and likes in viewership of different topics, that they'll be able to get this in their feed as well. So before I go, I want to touch on one last thing for you guys. Let me address this for you guys real quick. Okay, I brought it up in the last video. I think I'm going to bring it up in every video, just so you guys know the gravity of what's going on. Okay, this is the Georgia Codes, section 1614.6. This is part of the Chapter 14 Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organization statute for the state of Georgia. And their statute, codes, and regulations. This is case text. You can go look this up yourself. All right, but this is civil remedies, and this can happen at any time. Okay, and I'm going to replace words. So listen to what I say. Any Georgia Superior Court judge, justice, may, after making due provisions for the rights of innocent persons, if you'll see in the next video, or 2 videos from now, when I do Catherine Powell, that she was ordered to write an apology letter to the citizens of Georgia. Boom, here you go. There's your innocent persons. Enjoins violations of Code Section 16-14-4, which is a list of criminal offenses under the Georgia RICO statute, by issuing appropriate orders and judgments, including but not limited to, okay, did you hear me? Including what I'm fixing to read to you, but not limited to, which means whatever, right? What it means to me, number 1, ordering Trump or any one of his co-defendants to divest themselves of any interest in any political affiliation with the Trump campaign or the Republican National Committee, the RNC. I don't know. Or personal property. Are you seeing a pattern? Who else is trying to take Trump's personal property? The New York Attorney General. It could happen here like that. Number 2, imposing reasonable restrictions upon the future activities or investments of any of the Trump defendants, including but not limited to prohibiting any of Trump's defendants from engaging in the same type of endeavor as the Trump campaign, Republican National Convention or party in which they were engaged in violation of Code Section 16-14-4, which is a litany of criminal offenses. Number 3, ordering the dissolution or reorganization of the Trump campaign, the Republican National Party. Picket. Number 4, ordering the suspension or revocation of any license, permit, or prior approval. Let's say an application to run on the Georgia or some county in Georgia's electoral, right? You seeing it? Granted to any enterprise, the Trump campaign, the Republican National Party, by any agency of this state, or ordering the forfeiture of the charter of a corporation organized under the laws of this state, or the revocation of a certificate authorizing a foreign corporation to conduct business within this state upon a finding that the board of directors or a managerial agent acting on behalf of the corporation in conducting affairs of the corporation has authorized or engaged in conduct in violation of Code Section 16-14-4, and that for the prevention of future criminal activity, the public interest requires that the charter of the corporation be forfeited and that the corporation be dissolved or certificate be revoked. And this is the civil remedy of it. Now that's going to be initiated. But I just wanted to touch on that as I leave to give you guys the gravity of the situation, which can happen instantly with the stroke of a pen. Very scary. That things could ignite very quickly in the heart of Georgia. All right, with that, thank you very much for being here. I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video on Kenneth Cheeseborough.